Welcome back to Generative AI 101, the podcast where we turn mind-bending AI and generative AI concept into something even your grandma would find cool. I'm Emily Laird, the referee in this AI Thunderdome. Today, we're heading straight into the technicolor world of Stable Diffusion. It's the AI tool that takes your weirdest ideas and turns them into striking visuals. Imagine telling your computer, show me a cat surfing on a pizza slice, and boom, there it is, in glorious detail. This isn't science fiction, no, it's Stable Diffusion. Welcome to Generative AI 101. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. So what is Stable Diffusion? You might have heard of it. This model dropped in 2020 and quickly made waves because unlike some of the more elitist AI tools out there, it's accessible. You don't need a supercomputer to make it work, just a decent GPU, and boom, you're generating images like your Picasso with a motherboard. At its core, Stable Diffusion is based on diffusion models. So these models work by taking something recognizable and slowly trashing it, so to speak. So imagine your friend hands you a perfect picture of the Eiffel Tower, and instead of framing it, you decide to rub it in dirt. That's the forward process of diffusion, gradually adding noise to the image step by step until it's totally unrecognizable, just a mess of pixels. Now, the real trick is that Stable Diffusion is trained to do the opposite. It learns how to rewind the chaos. It starts with a noisy image and denoises it step by step until it becomes a crystal clear picture again. It's like an AI restoration artist that can take a wrecked image and bring it back to life, but instead of fixing just old photos, it can generate entirely new ones from scratch. You give it a text prompt like a cyberpunk city at sunset, and it'll create an image that looks like it was ripped straight from a sci-fi novel. But here's where it gets smart. So Stable Diffusion works in what's called latent space, which sounds complicated, but really just means it takes shortcuts to save processing power. So you know how when you send someone a photo, you don't send them the full-sized 4K version unless you hate them or their phone storage. You compress it first. That's what Stable Diffusion does. So it compresses the image into a more manageable form, like turning a high-res poster into a thumbnail. Then it works its magic on this smaller version, denoising it, and only after that, it blows it back up into full size. This party trick allows it to generate high-quality images without frying your laptop. That's what we call efficiency. Now let's talk use cases. So Stable Diffusion can create images from text like a dragon lounging by the pool, but it can also modify existing images. Say you have a blurry, pixelated photo of your dog from 2002. Diffusion can take that mess and upscale it, giving it new life, like it's a fresh shot from your new iPhone. Or say you want to change something in a photo, like removing that awkward photo bomber from your wedding pics. Okay, so Stable Diffusion can do that too. It's like Photoshop with some AI flair. But here's the kicker. It's not just for image generation. People are using Stable Diffusion to create short video clips, animations, and even high-end graphic design. It's like that kid in school that was just good at everything, but less annoying because you can actually use it to make cool stuff. Of course, no tech is perfect, right? And Stable Diffusion has its own uh-oh moments. Well, it's fun to play around with. There are some ethical issues. The model's not perfect at blocking out bad actors. Think deep fakes or unauthorized images. There are safety filters in place, sure, but if someone's determined, they can slip through. It's like building a fence. Most people will respect it, but there's always one weirdo who'll try to climb over. Now, the real magic happens with what's called latent diffusion. So diffusion models, like I mentioned, usually work by adding noise to an image and then learning to undo that noise. But here's the problem. Doing that directly in pixel space where you're dealing with high-res images is expensive in terms of computing power. It's like trying to chisel out a sculpture from a giant block of marble when you should just start with a smaller piece. So enter latent diffusion. All right, latent diffusion takes your image, squashes it down into a lower resolution, latent space, okay? where all the important information is still there, but it's just easier for the model to work with. It's like turning a 4K image into a thumbnail. Stable Diffusion first compresses your image, works its denoising magic, and then here's the kicker, expands it back into a high-resolution image at the end. This makes the process faster, less resource hungry, and means you can run this bad boy on a regular consumer-grade computer. No need for a NASA-level supercomputer to create your pixel-perfect masterpieces. And there's more. Stable Diffusion is built with something called a UNet, which sounds like some kind of submarine, but is actually a neural network architecture designed to predict noise in the image during this process. It's like a super smart AI janitor, cleaning up all the mess in reverse step by step. On top of that, it uses text conditioning. You type in the prompt like chocolate chip cookies on Mars, and the AI will generate visuals based on the words. All the while, it keeps checking with the prompt to make sure it's not going rogue and giving you something totally off. It's the digital equivalent of reminding your distracted chef to keep stirring the pot. Now, why should you care about all this? Well, Stable Diffusion isn't just cool because it can make weird internet art or fix up old photos. It's important because it democratizes the creative process. Before this, you needed access to expensive hardware and deep technical knowledge to use AI tools like this. Stable Diffusion kicked down the door and said, nah, anyone with a halfway decent laptop can go ahead and do this. It's open source, it's adaptable, and it's bringing the power of AI to the masses. You've got a desktop with a decent GPU, you're halfway there. And this has big implications. Artists, designers, creators, they all have a new tool in their toolkit that's faster, cheaper, and easier to use than ever before. But it's not just the pros. Hobbyists, indie game designers, and even your cousin. Yes, Dave, who lives in your aunt's basement, who can barely figure out Instagram filters. He also can use this tech, and that's what's really exciting. Okay, so what's the takeaway here? Stable Diffusion is a solid AI multi-tool for creating images, touching up photos, making art, and even dabbling in video. Although, I should add, video is more experimental at this stage. It's easy enough for almost anyone to use, but powerful enough that professionals are adopting it across the board. But like with all tech, use it responsibly. It's fun to create futuristic landscapes and cat memes, but remember, the same tool that can create beautiful art can also create ethical nightmares. So use the power wisely, folks. I should also mention the quality of output from Stable Diffusion is dependent on the quality of prompts, the dataset the model was trained on, and the hardware used. Those are the holy trinity of superb image outputs. That's all for today's episode. If you've got thoughts, questions, or just want to keep geeking out on AI, find me on LinkedIn. Just search for Emily Laird, Laird. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and remember, you know more about Stable Diffusion now than you did when you arrived.